Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Guys, I know that I was not able to do Hot Messy on Monday. It was because we were out of town for a little bit, but we are back and it's going to be a crazy summer. So I'm going to be like coming and going, and you guys, I will keep you posted on everything. In the meantime, Jason and a few other people have been working really, really hard on my 31st birthday, which I really appreciate. It's going to be on Saturday, July 6th on King Street in downtown Charleston at Lamar. So Leva and Lamar from Southern Charm, they are the ones who are letting us host it at their restaurant lounge. It's going to be so much fun, guys. You're going to recognize a lot of faces. So if you can come, let me just put this up. If you guys can come, then make sure you go ahead and RSVP to ASST at upandadamlive.com. I'm putting it at the bottom. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the venue does have limited space. So if you guys get there, I just want to make sure that Jason sets a table aside for you and that you're taken care of and comfortable and not like fighting for something. Adam's family doesn't fight. Okay. So with that, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And let's welcome our very special guest, so bad it's good, with Ryan motherfucking Bailey. Hello.
What up? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy early birthday. I see Jason's in the chat too. So hey to Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, 31 years old. You're ridiculously young. That's upsetting to and you said no fights at your birthday, yet Monica and Daisy, what a weird mixture of Bravo celebrities.
No, let me explain. Can I explain to you really quick why this is the lineup? So Monica, one, I saw her in Charleston before and she loved Charleston. And also Monica and I get along very well. So I was like, hey, do you want to come be a part of my birthday? And she was very, very excited about doing it and being a part of it. So I love that because anytime I see her, it's nothing but laughs. And I just want good energy around my birthday. So even though other people have whatever issues, that has nothing to do with me. And that's how I look at it. My experience with her has been nothing but great. And then for Daisy, the next day on the day after my birthday on that Sunday, we're going to be chartering a catamaran and Daisy is going to be the chief stew. She's the chief stew on the catamaran.
Adam, you are living the life that we all want to live. Like, how do you find time to have a social life with all of the work that you do? This is insane.
We're gonna be posting the photos and all of the behind the scenes, but no, it's honestly, this is not, I can't take any credit for this. This is really Jason who's put this together. And you guys, Jason's birthday is this Sunday on June 23rd. And yeah, it's just back to back. So we're kind of celebrating together.
What are we doing for Jason's birthday?
I wanted to go out of town. I wanted to do a day by the pool and just like be pampered for Jason. And Jason's like, I have not been in my house for weeks. I just want to sit at home, maybe go to dinner. I want to lay on my couch and I want to watch Netflix. And I was like, you can tell the difference between 31 and 41.
Oh, how dare you? And Jason's like, I just don't want to see your sorry ass. That's what I want alone.
I know. He's like, please get the out of my house. Get out of my house. No, but I even his mom is in town and we talked about it and we're like, what do we do for Jason? And we talked about so many different things. And Jason's like, I'm telling you right now, I am not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm like,
I like him. I like a man that stands his ground. That's why Jason's the best. And also, you do
he's a cheap date.
Oh, wow. There's no way he's a cheap date. How dare you? Oh, by the way, hey, everybody in the chat. I see Christina Byington, who I love. I see all these great people. This is awesome. And I'm so happy to be at the end of the week, you guys. Like, this is great. This is a perfect way to cap off the week.
Yes. But definitely, guys, make sure you end up reaching out. That way we know and we can account for you. There's going to be a lot of special surprises. I'm not just talking about the guests, but different like activations. Like imagine when you go to BravoCon, you have booths and things set up. Ryan knows. Ryan came to our bourbon, or what was it called? The place?
The bourbon room in Hollywood. Where
Thank
you did
you.
the show. By the way, that was like, I still say to this day, that was like really, I didn't know what I was walking into. And there were so many different little areas that you guys had set up. It was such this sounds so corny. It was a magical night. It really was a magical night.
Hey, thank you. Yeah. So it's going to be just like that, except different. We're not putting on a show because I'm not a performing seal. I just want you to come and play and have fun. That's it.
Wow. I would love to meet Monica in person. Like I would love. But did you get the tea if he like what that whole traders mess was all about?
So she just based off of what I haven't spoken with her in a couple days. I know that she's traveling around and doing a lot of press right now. And she's constantly flying and stuff. But from what I gathered, I believe there were a lot of people who were in the running for it, and she didn't make it to that psych evaluation. So she thought it was pretty gross that Instagram fan account ran with that she failed the psych evaluation. I think she was pretty upset about that, but that's all I gathered, and that's only
Yeah.
from watching her stuff.
Well, that's the crappy thing about doing what we do kind of is that anybody can put out anything nowadays,
Yeah.
and, like, people just accept it as fact. It's, like, such a bummer, and I think it sometimes ruins, like, because then you're trying to decipher what actually is real and what isn't, and we see that across all Bravo shows.
It really is it is kind of crazy, because if I went on tomorrow and I said Lisa Vanderpump was getting a divorce because of this, this, and this, and I fully said it, and I put it on all of my platforms, it would be ran with, which is such a dangerous thing. And I think that sometimes we forget when we say these things, they do have implications and they are affecting people's lives. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. But if it's not true, you probably should not put it out there, especially saying it as if it were to be a fact.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a great responsibility that I mean, I know it's, like, for fun and stuff, but then you're right, like, it gets spread around, and then you kind of see certain people kinda run with that, and they try to get those clicks and those likes and things like that, so they will just make up the wildest of facts, and I think us as an audience, we wanna believe it because we wanna believe the most bizarre, insane rumors out there because that makes it even more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, smash
And
that like button, you guys, smash
yeah,
it.
guys, smash it. Do it for Ryan. Okay. Ryan, we have a few things to talk about today. I want to go over the Jeff Lewis Watch What Happens Live appearance. I want to talk a little bit about some New Jersey stuff. I want to talk about some Beverly Hills predictions with the photos coming out of Dorit and Kyle, and also our newbie, which I'm really excited about. And then, of course, we're about to get OC, which kind of re-intertwines with Jeff Lewis, because I want to talk about that. And then this Salt Lake City lawsuit.
I'm getting. Did you see the Orange County premiere?
No, I haven't watched it. No, no, no. No, actually, to be fair, not only have I not watched it, nobody sent it to me, so I'm not gonna pretend like I got it.
I watched it this week. It's
Did
really
you?
good. It's
Is it?
really guys, like, it's gonna be a
You got
good
the screener.
if the first episode is any indication, it is going to be an insane season. It starts off so strong.
My God. I'm hoping so too, especially because I feel like at one point we had a lot of shows on Bravo, and it kind of seemed like as they were coming out, we were just excited to watch them. And now I don't know what happened, but it definitely feels like since I started YouTube over 4 years ago, and then like with the pandemic, it's a hit or a miss. It's like we get one show that's a flop, and then one that we're really looking forward to, and then we get another one that's a flop, and then one that's going to be really, really amazing. And
But isn't that part of being a Bravo fan is that you're a fan of all of these things, but it's like following a sports team. Like they have good seasons and they have bad seasons, but you believe in the overall product. You're like, those are my girls or that's my show. And so you are willing to like kind of put up with a not as stellar season because you know right around the corner you could get the best season ever.
I mean, that's a very glass half full way to look at that.
And I'm usually a glass half empty, but I got to tell you, when you watch something that's good, it's like, oh, this is why I love doing this. This is why I love covering this.
Well, since you came in with the Real Housewives of Orange County and obviously seeing the screener, which I love, let's get into this. Let's start off here. We had Jeff Lewis. Ooh, bad photo. Jeff Lewis, who ended up going on Watch What Happens Live, and he had a few things to say, especially about Shannon Bedore. And I love that he calls Andy and Bravo out, just because their dynamic is one that goes back many, 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 many years, as we know. And he was like, I actually feel bad for Shannon. I feel like you and Bravo took away all of her allies. I feel like you guys kind of put her on an island, and I don't think it's fair. And I blame it on you, Bravo. It's Bravo's fault. And Andy's like, okay, you relax. And I'm like, what the heck? This is like two brothers.
It is like 17 years of a relationship. And that's why I think it is so interesting. Like Jeff had been on Watch What Happens Live 33 times, I think, before he was on Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever that was. And so they have such a really funny shorthand. And Jeff is such an ass to Andy and kind of like pokes and prods him, but he's able to get away with things and say things that other guests could never say. Yeah. And I do agree in some sense of like, Shannon is a little bit of an island, and she's kind of put herself there to a degree. But I think, especially when you do something as dumb and horrible as Shannon did last year, I feel like these girls kind of need to rally around her even more, and that is just not the case. Like, Tamra is peace out.
Right. I think that for Tamra too, I mean, Tamra knew she was going to have to side with Alexis Bellino, bringing Alexis into this season. She knew what she was doing. They all know what they're doing.
They're fighting over John Jansen. John Jansen is not a prize. And I called it like a couple years ago. This John Jansen has a very, like, you could tell it's like a buttoned up anger problem. So when it explodes, he's like, I'm John Jansen. Like, I always do a really gruff John Jansen voice, but like, imagine fighting, everybody in the chat, imagine fighting over John Jansen of all people. You know, like, it's John Jansen. Like, this isn't like some diamond ring, you know? Ah, there he is.
You love him.
Listen, I just feel like it's so weird. Like, the timing of this is so weird. And you're not going to ever get me to believe that he did not become more attractive when the possibility of Alexis getting back on Orange County. Like, it's so messy. Talk about messy topics. John Jansen is a messy topic.
Well, and I don't know what her coming out, you know, and like trying to Larsa Pippen all of us and being like, we have sex 4 times a day. I'm like,
yeah. By the way, yeah, you guys, they put out it was on, I think, Tamara's podcast or something. They have sex 4 times a night. I don't even need to know that you have sex 1 time a night. I just assume that you have sex. That is not something to brag about. First off, that just seems wildly uncomfortable. You shouldn't brag about these things. Like, I don't know why you would ever admit that. And what happened, by the way, and like, shout out to religion, but isn't Alexis still religious to some degree? Like, would you be out there doing press releases about how many times you've had sex a night?
So can I just say really quick too? Do you remember that guy that Kim Richards brought to the white party that Brandy Glanville said looks like a bulldog? And she was really, really mean about it. I ran into him at LAX and I saw him sitting there with his kids and he was getting a burger. And I was like, I don't know who that guy is. And it wasn't until I got on the plane that it clicked. I'm like, oh, that's the guy. Okay. I was seeing on Instagram where people were comparing him to John Jansen. And I'm like, you guys are terrible. You guys are mean. This is a mean group of people, but also nobody is buying. So you're saying 7, 14, 21, 28, you're having sex 28 times a week. So then let me just, because 8, 16,
there's
24,
not enough
32,
hours in the day. Like, you need sleep at some point.
72 times a month, which means that you're having sex 864 times a year.
Make it stop, Adam. Make it stop.
And then you go on knowing you have kids, saying that you're going to need vag rejuvenation.
Could you imagine you're like the son or the daughter having to hear about your mom or dad's sex life? It is way too much, but it's classic Housewives, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Alexis and like Shannon in other previous seasons treated John Jansen like he was a piece of gold. And I just don't know. It was cool that he had a boat, but other than that, I wasn't like, this guy is the cat's pajamas.
Right. You had a great house on the water and you had a boat. Yeah. But he was never. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, even if you have sex 1 time a night, that's a lot. Like, one time a day, that's like more than most people have. Why do you have to? There's no way they're having sex 4 times a night. Maybe like once or twice in the course of their relationship, but there's no way that they're throwing down like Larsa. Like, even Larsa Pippen, I didn't believe when she said she was having sex with Marcus that many times.
I just feel like that's an aggressive thing to say. And I also feel like it doesn't make you look good to say that.
No, but by the way, I do want to announce that for Jason's birthday, they are going to make love 4 times a night this weekend for Jason's birthday.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I said make love. It's beautiful. Make love.
Yeah, make love. But also, I feel like, you know, like Larsa and Marcus split up, and then all of a sudden, you know, like the next guy comes along and they're like, hey, man, you bring in your new girl? Yeah. Who is it? Who is it? It's Larsa Pippen. Oh, dude. She said that she was having sex 4 times a night. Like, that's a lot. Like, are you sure you wanna be with her? And
Or
it's like,
wait, if you're dating Larsa, then you would be insecure if you're not having sex 4 times a night because she's been so publicly about having 4 times. I don't even know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like you'd feel in competition with Marcus. That's why I don't think any of this is true. There's no way.
well, and then she said that she had sex with Scottie Pippen 4 times a night for like what, 10 over a decade? And I'm like, that's a lot. If I just got 864, then times that by 10, because that's a lot of shit. Okay.
Yeah, all we need to worry about 4 times is smashing that like button 4 times this session. But also, there's a good possibility that Alexis and Larsa just don't know how to count. Like, what if they think 4 is actually 1? Like, they just might not be good at math in the first place.
You know, I'm very happy that Alexis Bellino has Shannon Bedore's coattails to kind of attach onto this season because let's be honest, Alexis Bellino seems very, very sweet, you guys.
Yeah.
But I don't think that she, without the Shannon Bedore, John Jansen, would have ever been invited back because I don't think that she would have been a prominent enough person and had that strong enough personality to really kind of make sense on the show. So really, she is on the show because of John Jansen and Shannon Bedore.
But then when you see Tamara getting so close to Alexis and standing up for Alexis in the press and the podcast, that's when it kind of cuts a little deeper. Like the John Jansen of it all, but I think the Tamara thing for me kind of like as a viewer hurts because you're like, damn, she really is standing up so hard for Alexis Bellino that if I was Shannon Bedore, I think I would be wildly hurt. And we know how sensitive Shannon Bedore is. So we know that is probably, I think, the greatest cut. I think John Jansen, if anything, it's good that he is out of Shannon Bedore's life. I think the Tamara thing is the most hurtful because you really see how sometimes for the show, friendships seem to be because of the show and not a real feeling.
Right. No, that makes sense. Did you see Katie in the first episode or are they waiting?
No, she's in.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That means that we're going to be getting ready for Toaster. Yes. Jesus jugs. Yes. You guys are shady as hell, but yes.
Which, by the way, didn't Tamara call her Jesus Jugs first? She created that name?
Yes. Tamara's like one of those people, one of those friends. Like, I feel like I don't have I love Tamara. I feel like I don't have a place for anybody like Tamara in my life because I don't like a flip-flopping friend. And Tamara would be one of those friends. I'm not telling you shit. I don't trust you with anything. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. I think that you're crazy. I think that you make great TV. I think you're a phenomenal housewife. I'm not telling you shit.
Well, that's the deal. I mean, she is a legendary housewife, but I think she comes off as a very poor friend. And also, I think Lisa Vanderpump had a quote this week saying something of the fact of like, these shows, it's not about what you reveal, it's about what you hide. And I thought that was kind of brilliant. And it's like what we kind of always talk about is that these shows now become all of these people trying to hide storylines. And then the show is trying to get them on or get them revealed. And Tamara's one of those people that will reveal your deepest, darkest secrets. So for the show, it's great. But as a friend, it probably is pretty horrible if you're on the receiving end of that.
Well, and then also for the Jeff Lewis of it all, he was supposed to film in some capacity on the show, decided not to, as we all know. And, you know, like him saying Shannon Bedore doesn't have allies. Listen, I know he's like, this isn't fair. I don't feel bad for Shannon Bedore. And I'm going to say it because of this. You signed a contract. You're making a shit ton of money and you're playing a game. Sometimes you're on an island and that's okay. You're getting an opportunity that many people don't. So even though you're like, this is my real life, it's like, well, yeah, girl, like we all have a lot of problems in our real life. You're not the only one whose man left you and you crashed your car into somebody's house. Okay.
Well,
other people do too.
I mean, not a lot of people crash their car into a house, but I always call it the game of hot potato. And each season, somebody's got the hot potato, and it's like, who's willing to carry that hot potato for the season? I just think with Shannon, she seems to carry that hot potato a lot because you can tell that there's an insecurity about Shannon that a lot of the other ladies don't have. So she's wildly sensitive, but each season she's like, I'm the new improved Shannon Bedore. And then by the end of the season, she is kind of fallen apart in some way. And that's why I think a lot of people low key root for her because Tamara is very headstrong. She's very different than Shannon. Tamara can take care of herself. And I think we try to protect the people that are sometimes a little softer, a little weaker, a little meeker. And, you know, like Kyle Richards was supposed to have the hot potato last season of Beverly Hills, and she was like trying to give it to anybody. She was like, oh, Sutton, your esophagus, or this or that. And I think this season of Beverly Hills, I'm so curious if Kyle is going to accept that she has the hot potato, and we still have a lot of questions as viewers.
Well, even this is the last thing that I'm going to say, especially about the Tamra Shannon stuff. I think that no, I'm going to reserve that. Never mind.
Oh,
Never mind.
What was that? That was going to be good.
Nope, I'm going to reserve it. Guys, actually, since you brought up Kyle Richards, I'm going to reserve that because I'm going to get I am literally the person who says something on here, and then all of a sudden it takes me no time because Jason has access to all of my socials and stuff because he helps me post. And then he's like, why did you piss so-and-so off? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, this DM. And I'm like, shit.
Can you tell us who you pissed off last? Who's the last person you pissed off?
I mean, I can probably tell you somebody from every franchise that I've pissed off.
Let's do it. We got the time. Is everybody willing to stay? So Adam will tell us who he's pissed off lately.
Yeah, I had my back and forth DMs with Tamra Judge, which she was just telling me I always make her look like an asshole. And I told her, I said, I think you make yourself look like an asshole. Sorry. But then we ended up making peace. We squashed the beef. I had a back and forth with Kyle Richards, which was really uncomfortable. On Salt Lake City. Oh, Jesus Christ.
How long ago was the Kyle Richards back and forth?
That was when the Mauricio stuff happened.
Okay.
Yep. Ramona Singer on New Jersey, Teresa and Louie. That was uncomfortable as hell. Miami, Lisa Hochstein, obviously, because the Katharina Mazeppa. Atlanta, it was Portia Williams after the Fallon Gobadia interview, but also Nene Leakes got completely pissed off at me. Potomac, Candace Bassett literally completely tore me apart on Twitter. And Chris wanted to have a boxing match, which was incredibly terrifying to me because that's never going to happen. Vanderpump Rules, James Kennedy. Like, what do you mean? We could go down the list.
How dare you, Adam? How dare you talk about me,
we
DJ
could go down
James
the
Kennedy?
It's just all, but all, I'm on. Hi.
Well, that is the weird thing. It's like, I find it hard because every time I talk to you, I'm like, who could be mad at you? Like, who could be angry at you? So it's like, because you approach things too, where I don't feel like, I don't know. Like, I just never seen you get really, really nasty, but maybe I'm completely unaware. Like, it seems like
no. I really try not to get nasty. If anything, like the other day I had a moment where I had to kind of it was like a tiny clapback, but it was with Kim D because Kim D drives me insane, but Kim D drives everybody insane. And actually, let's talk about that for a second, because the Real Housewives of New Jersey, we see a lot of posts. And one thing that I just don't like is watching the clear divide in like what they call bloggers, which some of them are actual bloggers because you don't see them on screen or hear them on podcasts, or podcasters or YouTubers. And it's so one-sided where they're like, oh, well, Margaret, this person and this person, they're trash and they're doing this. Like, I always joke about this with All About the Real Housewives. I'm friends with them. They're nice. Well, loosely not friends. We haven't met. We're very friendly to each other. But I'm like, you guys totally are team Teresa and Jennifer Aiden. Everything that you put out, you trash all of the other castmates, and everything is in favor of them. Kim D, when I had her on my channel, she was completely destroying Teresa. She's like, that bitch, and like calling her all of these names and saying that Bravo protects her. And now they've made amends. So she's like crawled right up her butt, living there rent free. She's not paying her mortgage anymore. She doesn't have to because she's living good. She's living high on the hog. And now she's getting fed everything where she gets to bring it back to her podcast. And now she's just completely trying to dismantle the rest of the cast while also putting out information that I don't think is necessarily true. But what do I know?
Well, I mean, that's what at the end of the day, these aren't real friends. Can you imagine, like, as like all of us or anybody in the chat, like this is how we treated our friends and like we just collected information and then completely threw people under the bus. But that's the weird thing about Jersey. I was talking about it on the show this week, is that I actually genuinely liked aspects of this past week's episode. It's just that it is so like hampered down by the Teresa, Joey, Melissa, Margaret. Like, I just want to get rid of that entire storyline completely because I feel like it's like shackled by Teresa's legend. But you can't really even say that in a certain group of people because they get so like, we're ready to go to war. And I'm like, it's not that deep. Can't you just understand that the overall success of the show is the most important aspect here? Like, at this point, let's assume that Teresa can take care of herself. And also, let's be honest about certain storylines that bring down the show because we've seen them repeatedly. I say the same thing about Joey Gorga. It's like, I'm so tired of like seeing Joey cry, like, oh, it's my family and she's doing this. I can't even believe.
But then you
Like, are
throw
you
away the
okay?
card.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I'm still like, I don't even need to see that. Let's just like, we get it. You guys are never going to be family again. I don't even care if you say there's a possibility. Let's just forget about it. That's your business. Let's like get to hear other people and other women's stories on that show.
Yeah.
Oh, guys,
I
the
did.
like button. We got to smash it. We got low likes. Vicky says we have low likes. We got to smash that like button.
It's always the likes come in the replay. It's just a part of the game, guys. But over
Okay, I didn't
500
know.
people in the room, just keep smashing the like button. But one person who's really irritating me this season, and I use it loosely because I do kind of, I try to remind everybody, Ryan, when sometimes I see the comments, just like I see over, especially on my YouTube channel, people will fight in my comment section. And I have to remind them, somebody's parent, you know, is like having complications. Somebody else just lost a kid. Somebody else just got diagnosed with something. Somebody else just got out of prison or went to prison. Like, there are bigger things. This is entertainment. So there is no need to be this disgustingly vile in the comment sections. Like, it's not that we don't have a real dog in any of these fights.
Well, I think it's that we've had so many seasons of this and so much history and water under the bridge in a sense that we're like primed. We keep that anger for this one storyline season after season, and it gets more intense. Like, I don't know at this point, like if Teresa's saying she's found her happily ever after with Louis, go have that happily ever after. I'm like, fine. Like, let's move on at a certain point because it's like making us such a toxic fan base at points, and it makes it not fun to cover. Like, I rarely talk about Jersey, but like, I got to tell you, the last scene of last week's episode with Jackie getting busted by Margaret for calling Dolores a slob, I was like, that's hysterical. Like,
well,
that is hysterical.
That's what's kind of annoying me this season, because the blind loyalty, when I met Jackie at BravoCon and she said hi to me and she goes, like, kind of like, I know who you are. And I'm like, listen, I know that I haven't said great shit about you because I honestly find you to be the Teddy Mellencamp of Real Housewives of New Jersey. I find you to be incredibly boring. I love that you shared your eating disorder. I have my own body dysmorphia shit that I have to deal with. It's not like a fun thing. I completely relate to you on that. And I love that you opened up about that because it helps a lot of people. But also, it's like Heather Gay on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I don't want to hear about your How to Be a Bad Mormon, whatever book for 5 more freaking seasons. I can't listen to that. And so then watching her this season, I felt like she thought in her mind the best way to pivot was to cross over from the red team to the blue team. And by doing so, she didn't do it very strategically. She did it like, watch what you're saying, Melissa. I know what you're doing right now. And Margaret, you're a jealous bitch. And
but see, this is what I'm talking about. It's not even on real friendships anymore. It's like a war, and she made a strategic move. And by the way, it worked. She's back on the show. Like, we might not like it. We might think it's cringy or whatever, but it worked. She went from not being on the show to now being a featured player, like almost a housewife again. So it worked. We might be kind of like, whoa, how did that happen so quickly? But it worked. She's back on the show. And that's why it's so interesting, is that these are not like real French. They're friendships, but not like the actual kind that you would ever trust anybody. And that's what's kind of funny, is like the gloves are off. Margaret's like screenshotting texts from like 6 months ago and sending them out. Like, it's going to get nasty. But what I appreciated about it, that it doesn't have anything to do with Teresa. Yeah. I appreciate like that, but like, yeah, let's get some other interactions going.
It has everything to do with Teresa.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that Teresa's not in that scene. It's Margaret and Jackie and Dolores. Like, it's like that, like, you guys now, Dolores obviously has taken great offense to being called a slob, and now we're gonna have Jackie and Dolores have it out. And I'm like, good, let's get the storyline away from Joey and Teresa and let them do their own thing.
Well, not even when I was watching the Kim D video where she made it so offensive that Danielle Cabral told the little girl at New York Fashion Week that she better smile or she's going to fart in her face. And she's like, she plays the scene and then she goes, can you believe that? Can you believe somebody would talk like that? It's disgusting. I'm like, girl, we know you probably had your hands in a lot of disgusting things in the past. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure it's a lot worse than that. So to be fair, you're digging. And she's like, that's not the Jersey I know. I'm like, yeah, of course it's not the Jersey you know, because the Jersey that you know, we used to have beepers. Like, it's a different time.
I'm just curious, though, moving forward in Jersey, first off, why, like obviously this last episode, Andy keeps like the talking points of we don't need a reunion because you'll see on that last scene of Jersey, that's everything that would be in a reunion anyways. But I also want to know if they leave in the clip from the preview with Louis and Teresa having that little scene about money. Remember in the trailer for Jersey this season, there is that. So I'm curious, does that actually get brought up as a storyline or is that going to be edited out? Because that's what I was talking about earlier about Lisa Vanderpump's quote. It's like, we're interested in what you're hiding. And I think that is the thing that a lot of Bravo fans are curious about. What actually is going financially on with Louis and Teresa?
If I had to make a prediction, and Louis scares me because he's a scary looking effer. Okay. I'm telling you guys, if he sees you, if you see him in person, he looks at you and he sizes you up like straight Jersey, like Jersey Shore, like the snitchuation kind of shit. And he looks at you all up and down and he's like, what's up? So if I had to guess, when things don't add up, the business aspect doesn't necessarily add up. Vinny Villa, in my opinion, I'm just saying in my opinion, but he started Vinny Villa, this platform, this social media platform.
For influencers, right?
For influencers. And then when he throws this event, they're interviewing him on the step and repeat on the carpet. And they're like, what do you think about tonight? And he's like, I just want to let you know, this is what I do. This is what I do. Then fast forward 3 months later, then you have a wife of the party social media handle who is this event planner who's like, this is what I need. My $300,000 that you guys owe me for throwing this party that I've been asking you for X amount of time. And you guys are avoiding me. So now I'm publicly going to let everyone know that you owe me money. Now it's coming out, allegedly. And you guys can go, I'm just going to send you to where you can go. You guys can find it out for yourselves to allaboutthetea.com. This is what she is saying, Monica, that there is a whole potential money scheme that's going on and a lot of trouble coming their way. Now, do I believe it? I haven't seen all the facts, so I'm not sure. But what I do question is, why is it so complicated to figure out what this man does? And I think for the viewers, everyone is very, very confused.
Well, I think it harkens back also to Bravo fans have been burned in the past when we've let things slide. Like, think about Jen Shaw when she first came on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I remember going, like, when she was trying to explain her job at the reunion, I remember thinking, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I kind of put it away because she was talking about it so confidently. And then, of course, Tom Girardi, I remember thinking, wow, I know lawyers make really good money. Did they make that kind of money? Like,
Right.
All of these little questions. And I think we've been proven to be wrong or proven that like actually things aren't as they seem, where it's burned us in the past. So I think any kind of Bravo housewives or house husbands that come on, they've got to be very aware and they got to make sure their side of the street is clean, because if not, these Bravo fans are going to be digging. Like eventually the truth will come out on everybody.
Well, it's even like the Ryan. Like, everybody was wondering about you and your Ed Hardy. We didn't know, but you came off a little sus. You did.
Oh, I thought you meant me, but you're talking about Ryan from OC.
Ryan from OC.
I was like, I don't own Ed Hardy, Adam. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm saying Ed Hardy Ryan, not Ryan. Yeah. So bad it's good with Ryan, but Ed Hardy Ryan. And everybody was like, we don't know what he does. And then all of a sudden you have the $16-17 million MLB scheme. And it's like, the thing is a lot of times, and people don't realize this, from my experience of talking to, I feel like sometimes guys like the housewife whisper over here. Like, I can sit at a table with housewives and kick the shit all night. And I love it. And I can sit there and they'll sit there and rip me apart and I can go back. It's like, it's just an unspoken language and I don't know how I manage it. And Jason always is baffled because he's like, how you had that conversation, I have no idea. But
I've seen you in action at BravoCon a couple of years ago. It really is wild. Like I'm like there on a fly on a wall and I try to I'd be tongue tied and you're just right in the middle of the action. And it's very wild to see. And I think it just shows, not to kiss your ass so much, but it just shows that's what makes you good is like your comfortability in those situations. And you're able to ingratiate very easily where people feel comfortable around you. You seem like part of it as opposed to somebody that's sticking out like a sore thumb, which is me right here, which is me sweating in the corner. I'll be like, well, no, I'm thinking of that BravoCon when we were up there on that Sunday night. And it was like, you, Jason, and then you had like Vicky, Sergio, and Meredith Marks, and like Sergio was in between Meredith and Vicky.
And Sheree.
Caroline Stanberry was over here talking. Pizza was coming out, and I was like, "What is this?" I felt like I was like, "Is this some sort of weird acid trip I'm on?" But it was very real, and I was sitting there just like trying to like just not panic, and you were just cool as a cucumber. It was really fascinating.
Well, you know what I was leading it. Thanks, Brian. What I was leading into with that is having a lot of conversations with the wives and their husbands. A lot of times, the husbands will push the wives to, or the boyfriends of, or fiancés of, will push the wives and be like, listen, go do this. You'll be amazing. You'll be, and Ryan really wanted Jennifer Pedranti to be on this show. But knowing that you're engaging in whatever activity, it's just such a dumb move, because in your mind, you feel like you're going to be able to fly under the radar and people aren't going to have that sort of interest. Yet you're over here, no offense to you, John Fuda, but you're acting like a little bit of a John Fuda in the sense that you're getting upset with Tamra and you're wanting to fight with Tamra, which the viewers don't like the husband versus wife dynamic. And then we have John Fuda with Teresa. It's the same thing. Like, viewers are going to automatically eat John Fuda alive. They're calling him John Fugazi, John Fupa, I'm like, it's awful. It's awful the things that they're calling him, but you put yourself in the line of fire.
But that's the thing. That's why they're on reality television to begin with, because there's an obliviousness where they think they are smarter than the show. They think that it's going to be different for them because they are smart people. Like, no, I'm too smart to get caught. I'm too smart. That'll never come out. Why would they even focus on that? They don't ever truly learn about the shows that they're on. So then they're shocked because they don't realize the fandom is as intense as any other fandom that I've like been around in my life. So I think that's really interesting to see. You see it happen time and time again, and no amount of prison, no amount of fines, nobody ever learns from anything in Housewives. So we're watching the same rinse and repeat cycle, and it gets more and more intense. I just sometimes wonder with Teresa and Jersey, is that like, why do we as an audience take it so personally? Is it because we truly think of them as our family? Is the parasocial relationship so out of whack? Because especially with Jersey, and you see it a little bit with Vanderpump and like maybe a little bit of Summer House this season, but like we go to war. Like they don't, I don't know where it is that we feel like we have to hit like twice or three times as hard as the people in the actual shows.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, sometimes you guys think that you think you're smarter than the show and the audience. And it always takes me back to Dorinda on Pause Medley, who said, if you got skeletons in your closet, they're going to come out. Nobody.
I cannot wait to see Dorinda on Traitors.
I heard that she's already annihilating Tom Sandoval, which I think is brilliant.
Well, they're done filming. I think they finished filming yesterday.
Which is fantastic even more, because that means Tom Sandoval is coming back and him and Billy Lee are going to strike right back up again. So by all means, whatever way you want to look at it, if they're done filming, not done, I don't give a shit. I can look at the positive in all of it. I am excited to see them together, and I'm excited to see what he has to say now that he's coming home to be back with his girlfriend, Victoria Lee.
What's up, dude? It's me, Tom Sandoval. I'm ready to rock all summer long, dude.
You know who you sound like when you do Tom Sandoval? Have you seen the movie Split or Glass with the guy who like, he's like, Miss Patricia, and then like turns into like Hedwig?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a couple years. I'll have to go back and watch, but I always noticed that Tom Sandoval in my ear had like the babiest of lisps. So I always just accentuate that. It sounds nothing truly like him, but it's just fun. It's just fun to do for me. So,
yeah. Well, Tom Sandoval did say he's going to be addressing everything, and I'm sure that things are going to be, we will be sitting here waiting as it happens. But now,
oh my God, I forgot. You're the one that did I always like the Victoria interview. This is our 3-week anniversary of the Victoria
use that word
interview.
So loosely here on this conversation. I started it off by prefacing, this is not an interview. This is a conversation. I literally said that at the beginning of the conversation, and I put on the thumbnail interview so everybody knew what it was, but it was a conversation.
It was a conversation. It certainly was. I mean,
it was hard to follow at points conversation 100%. Trust me, there were moments where I was like,
I know Adam's face, you guys watch it. Adam's face was like he was trying to keep a blank face, and it was so
it was recorded. Wait, it wasn't recorded.
So
what? And then just you guys will be able to follow because Tom's not going to be able to keep his mouth shut on it. It's going to come out. So we'll see it when it comes out. But moving on. Since we're over there on the West Coast, I want to just bring this up really quick and ask your prediction. One, Bizoma, I'm very, very excited to see because we have seen her saying that this is going to be a badass season. And everybody's already saying that she's fabulous and she doesn't put up with shit, which I like that.
I mean, if we're to believe that, I try to I don't know if I put too much stock into what we hear before a season airs. And I think that comes from the Andy Cohen school of Barnum and Bailey's. He's a ringleader of it's the best season ever. You're going to freak out. You're not going to even believe it. So I don't know. I tend to start getting excited when the first preview comes out, even though sometimes the paparazzi pics or even this week with Beverly Hills seeing Kyle cry in a spa robe, I kind of got a little excited about that. Yeah, exactly. That's it. I kind of got excited about that, but I try to cool my jets because I'm just focus on what's out.
I saw you hurting and just your life was crumbling before your eyes. And I got so stoked. I was like, shit, I know this is going to be a great Wednesday. What?
I know. Isn't that horrible? Well, you know what it is, Adam? It's because when somebody's emotionally invested, you're going to get a good scene. If somebody's emotionally in it, I would rather that than a housewife completely detached, completely unemotional. We watch these people. It's it's a better form of a soap opera. So when you see somebody crying, you're like, oh, it's so sad. I hope they got that on camera. You're like, oh, I hope I hope we find out what Kyle was crying about because that means it's personal. That means it comes from her heart. And for me, I just feel like that is sometimes the magic, the juice. And Beverly Hills can sometimes be a little bit style over substance. And I feel like we've got so much room for substance this season. So I want it to be brought out. I want to see Kyle crying. I want to see Dorit crying. I want to know what's going on with PK. There are so many good elements that Beverly Hills could just explode this season if they really reveal a lot.
Well, spoiler alert, PK posted that he had on his app that he's 6 months sober. So it must be true.
Yeah. Oh, Adam, are you saying are you saying that he could potentially be lying about being sober?
I wouldn't question somebody's sobriety. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it must be true because he posted it. Don't put words in my mouth.
Oh my God. Jason, are you still in the chat? Jason, let's send this quote out to the press right now. Up and Adam is questioning PK's sobriety.
Based off of my octave. You are going based off of my octave, so that makes it subjective.
Okay.
That's all. But
I congratulated PK on my show this week. I said 6 months sobriety. That's amazing. Congratulations.
I'm saying that's amazing too right now.
Oh, yes.
I'm saying it's incredible. I think it's I love it. I really love it.
I feel like Victoria and Kyle Chan right now. I feel like, it's Adam's really hard to read. He's trying to keep it together.
Yeah, I'm crumbling on the inside. It's all happening. Okay. So now, Ryan, I want to move over to this really quick because, well, this was also a shit show. You saw this, right?
Yeah, of course.
So what is your takeaway on this? Because as of right now, we know that they're saying Lisa Barlow is being sued for over $410,000 in loans that are affiliated with not only her, but her businesses, Vida Tequila and also Lux Marketing. And she came out and said, this is not true, that this is pretty much an attack on her and her businesses, and that she is going to hold, I believe his name is Bart, this man accountable. He was a former business partner back in 2010, and they had a restaurant together. After the restaurant, it didn't end up working out. She doesn't know why he's coming out of the woodwork now, but I'm like, well,
why is he coming for me? I can't believe that. Vida Tequila is on the up and up.
Well, and you know what the thing is too with this whole thing? It's like, even when I went to Salt Lake City to see Jen Shaw for that interview, Jen Shaw was bringing up things about Lisa's business. And they were bringing up things that season about her business, about trying to secure these allegedly secure these little side loans or whatever. They were accusing her of a lot of things. And she said, that's not true. So the whole attacking her business, it's been going on for a long time now. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes a former business partner.
So this Bart guy said it was from the years 2010 to 2017, I believe. So it was a 7-year period. What I find weird is that there was no signed contract. Nothing was signed. It was like a friendship loan or loans throughout the years. I already find that highly suspect. And when you get to a point where you take it into the press, now Lisa Barlow responded on the same day. She responded on the same day in the press about this. My questions are they still filming this season of Salt Lake City? And my second question is, Adam, this is for your birthday. If anybody goes to Adam's birthday, you got to go up to Monica Garcia and go, Reality Von Teese, we need you now more than ever, because this seems like a storyline that Reality Von Teese could explode. Is the rumor out there in the mean streets of Salt Lake City, that there has always been weird financial goings on with Lisa? My thought is, though, like, I just feel like, once again, I feel like Lisa and her husband are, I would hope, too smart to take out that kind of friendship loan with anybody. So I, right now, am wanting to believe Lisa way more than this guy, Bart, that I
Me too.
never heard of, that came out of the woodwork saying 2010 to 2017. You got to see some documentation for that kind of high price point. If it's $400,000, then you're an idiot for not having anything signed. I'm sorry, Bart, but that just seems idiotic. And especially 6 years, you're not getting paid back, but then you're going to wait another 6 to 7 years to actually bring it up in the press. Something is rotten in Denmark. It smells. And I'm curious if this is a storyline in Salt Lake City and that's why it came out. Are they still filming, or are they wrapped?
They are wrapped.
Are we going to pick cameras back up like we do on every show now?
No, not for this, but this is gonna
what do you know, Adam? Adam knows something really juicy right now, and
it's gonna be
if we get enough likes, if we slam that like button, we can get it out.
I'm just saying, Salt Lake City is gonna be one for the books, so keep an eye out. I can assure you that.
So you really can you tell us? And I'm just starting this rumor right now. Is Monica coming back in the final episode of the finale?
Not that I know of.
Something you pause in a weird way, Adam.
No. I truly don't believe she is. Do you know what? I want to say this too. For this cast, who I am friends with a few of them, like friends. And they do an incredible job of not leaking anything.
The Summer House crew was really good at that too. I noticed Vanderpump Rules is horrible about it. They leak everything.
Well,
but
Vanderpump
you're right.
Rules, though, has a bunch of they have all their yes men following around. They have the people who literally crawl up their asses and they're there because they're looking for an opportunity. It's like, oh my God, I've seen it. Yes, queen, you are amazing. You are fire. You are everything. And it's like, relax, she's wearing a crop top that says baby gap and you guys are going to get a waffle. It is not that big of a deal. But those are the people that they surround themselves with. And those are the people that sit by and it's like, oh my God, my agent's calling me real quick. It's so annoying. Just hold on. It's probably something about the show. Wait, no, they're trying to pin that on me. Just 1 second. And then you have the yes man friend who's like, bitch, sitting right here with Sheena right now. Oh my God.
By the way, that's why the Valley was really entertaining, is because you had Janet's, gays, as she, they were called, reporting back to Janet on the Valley. This is hysterical to watch the communication breakdown or the rumors being passed around. I thought that was great. But my dream, my fan fiction is on the final episode of the new season of Salt Lake. Everybody's like, who could have done this? Who could have done this? And all of a sudden you see these heels walking down a hallway and it's Monica Garcia. And she's like, miss me, ladies. And that's how we end the season.
I did see, I'm going to play this clip because I did see this and I was like, okay, thanks, Bywig. Hello, drama.
Like you said, a lot has changed in the last year and everything. So I just do want to get a quick status update. Where do you stand with any of the women? Are you do you talk to any of them? I know you said you talked to Mary a little bit ago. Does that still remain true?
Yeah, Mary has always been incredible. She's always been amazing. I can tell she genuinely cares about, are you, she'll just text me sometimes out of nowhere and be like, are you good? She cares about my mental health and well-being. I haven't talked to any of the other women. They are definitely holding true on their little alliance, their little pact. And I wish them well in hell, but just kidding.
That's amazing. That's a good quote. Well in hell. I love that.
I mean, So yeah, if you guys want to come play with Monica, she'll be on King Street on July 6th. So just come on down.
Wait, by the way, we should like co-name your party Adam's 31st birthday. He's doing well in hell. That should be like the byline of your party invite.
I'll just say my 20s are doing well in hell.
Yeah,
30s are,
there you go.
30s are my 20s are over, doing well in hell, and my 30s, that's my new jam. But no, a lot of people, it's funny because even inviting the people who are coming, which I've only said 2 of them, but I saw a lot of the comments and they're like, Adam, how could you? I'm like,
well, people,
relax.
I mean, I even see somebody in the comments. They're so like, still like, a lot of people are still in an uproar about Monica. So I feel like Monica, though, was such a really interesting fulcrum to make this season really interesting and something different than we've ever seen. And I also believe in the concept, or at least trying for forgiveness. And I would have always liked to have seen how she would have gotten back into that cast because, you know, as we, you know, try to profess on Vanderpump Rules, you got to forgive, you got to forgive. So I'm so curious how those ladies would have worked with that, or who would have been the first to actually start doing scenes with Monica besides Mary Cosby. We'll never know. Also, Jason wants everybody to know Daisy is going to be there as well. Daisy's not nearly as controversial as Monica Garcia, though.
Yes, Daisy is not as controversial, but also, guys, if you are watching right now, Daisy's sister was in a moped accident here recently, and I believe she's doing better now. But send all of the love and well wishes, because we know that family is the most important thing, and I truly, truly mean that. But no, it really is very wild. I even had a friend who's not coming to my birthday who said to me, like, I'm happy I'm not coming because I would have to call Monica out for, and I'm like, you know, you're watching her on a TV show, right? And I wouldn't invite somebody to my birthday for you to attack them. So I don't want that. But also, you're watching a TV show that you don't have a dog in that fight. They are getting paid to have these conversations, the conflict and resolution. And you should not be this triggered where it's like, if I see you, I'm calling you out. It's like, no. It's a TV.
So you're saying you don't want your birthday to become an episode of a Housewives show.
No, by all means, you guys want to fight, just flip. As long as you flip a table, I don't give a shit. But if there's not a table flipped, I'm not all for the 2024 version of Kim D and Teresa with the turning the tables. I want you to flip the tables. I want that.
Flip
version.
the tables.
If you're gonna come fuck up my birthday,
that should be that should be an activation at your birthday where there's a table to flip where you can take photos of the table being flipped for each person.
That's
not a bad idea.
Really great, and we can just put all of the sponsors' goodie bags on it. It'd be fantastic.
Is it true that Billy Lee, Victoria, and Kyle will be at your birthday party?
Oh yeah,
on the 6th.
Yeah. They'll be at my birthday party. Stops right at the door. It'll be so fantastic. No,
yes,
actually, no.
Sorry. I'm not married. I have a girlfriend. I see the questions. But thank you for asking. That's really nice. Unless you hate me, and then sorry.
Yeah, Ryan has a girlfriend, guys. Leave Ryan alone. But no. Actually, Kyle, Victoria, Billy Lee, they're all more than welcome to come. But no. All right. So this is
going to be a who's who. This party is going to be a who's who. I cannot wait to. You should do a documentary of this birthday party.
There's so much more that people don't even know. That's why I'm saying if they are coming, and I'm not saying it like, you know how like when Lisa Rinna released Rinna Beauty and she's like, oh my God, in 1 second, it was all sold out. I'm not saying it like that, guys. Like, oh, you better get in while you can because we can't sell tickets. It's not ticket. There's no tickets. I'm not doing a show. It's just a full fun. It's going to be a very packed out event. And I want to make sure, and it's more so for Jason, so he can put you somewhere and he makes sure that you have a place. So you're not just standing there out in the middle of the open. That's why I'm saying to RSVP. So you're taken care of. It's not, you're not buying tickets. It's not that. Just saying.
Just saying, everybody.
Yeah. I'm doing the Shannon Bedore hands. But before we end up going, I do have another thing that I want to bring up. How are we feeling?
Listen, we're only 3 episodes in, and I feel like I really like Dubai. Like it's low level in terms of like the stakes. It's what we used to love about Housewives, of just kind of like ladies talking crap about other ladies, getting disinvited to parties. I still like seeing Dubai. My one complaint, and I hate to be critical of Bravo, is I just don't feel like they advertise this in a clear-cut way to make people that had not watched the first season say, hey, you don't need to watch the first season to enjoy the second season. Like, I feel like they should have also just given a little bit more of a push in this is why you should watch Dubai. I think Caroline and Sergio, to me, are my favorites. I think you could put them anywhere and they'd be entertaining. But it's, we're only 3 episodes in. We've got so much more to come. The only question I have is Bravo committed to doing a 3rd season to this show already, or are they just kind of dumping this off and they're like, we're going to air the rest of these? Like, I think that's the other thing too, is that sometimes Bravo fans are like, we're going to should we invest in this show, or is it just going to go the way of the dodo bird?
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think that this is a great dynamic cast, and I know that there's a lot more excitement coming. By the way, Talene, on my last night, you guys, and she might kill me for this. I'll get a WhatsApp. So on the last night of BravoCon, we went out to dinner with Caroline and Sergio. It was like kind of a goodbye, and we had to leave for the airport at 4:45 in the morning to get to the Vegas airport. And I stayed out with Talene and her husband, and I think it was Emily and a few other people. It ended up being a long night. But what I can say is that woman is a total housewife. Like, when she walks in, she commands the attention. She did not care. We got into this super, it was like this exclusive restaurant that nobody was supposed to get in without a reservation. And she's dancing on the table. Then we had to leave the restaurant. So it's just, that is a funny couple. They are a couple to watch. I think they're going to be polarizing this season. I feel that.
No, I feel like I hope more people get into it. It's only 3 episodes that you can stream this weekend and catch up, but it's on Tuesday nights, and we're really in a dearth of housewives until Orange County premieres. So I think it's invest in this show. Also, I crack up every time they show Sergio. Sergio always looks like he's about to cry. Sergio always looks like he's about to tear up, and I love it too. He makes me laugh so hard. I don't know, there's just something about him.
When Caroline's daughter was saying that he needs to be the one wearing the dress, and she was like, stop it. And I'm like, and he's like, what? And she's like, I just feel like you follow my mom around like a puppy. And he's like, because I love her. I love her so much.
It was like Caroline scolding her 2 kids. It was stop it, you guys, stop it.
But anybody, if you guys are ever around them in person, I'm just saying that he's obsessed with his wife. And it's not an unhealthy way where he's just like, who are you texting? What are you doing? He's just like, honey, are you okay? Honey, do you need something? Honey, let me get something for you. Honey, let me make sure in the morning you have a massage. You have this. The guy just loves his wife. So they're making it look now that he's this needy, they're showing him while she's talking to the hypnotherapist and he's eavesdropping. And I'm like, oh, you guys are going to make him look like this needy kind of cuckoo puppy.
Oh, big time. Big time. Huge. And I think, by the way, it is such a funny kind of storyline. So as long as they don't go too dark or too serious with it, it can stay kind of a light, funny storyline. And by the way, we see them on social media and know how strong they are anyway. So it really does. But it is so funny. Sergio just seems like a very sensitive soul.
Yeah. And I want to go back to this really quick because people keep asking me about Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
We were talking about Monica. I'm not going to sit on here and advocate for anybody to come back on any of the shows. Everybody has their favorites and they will decide what they think is right and what's not right. But at the end of the day, there are bigger people sitting at bigger tables on floor 67 of the MC building in New York City. And they are making these decisions. And Monica Garcia for Reality Von Teese, obviously the women made a pact and she is no longer on the show. And people are wondering about Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore, something with this revenge porn situation and posting these photos of one of the castmates, from what we're hearing, I guess, engaging in fellatio. I don't know. I'm trying to be very proper about this. If this is true, which she is right now indefinitely suspended, and she has not really said too much. She's been very cryptic about it. If this is true and she did post those photos, I would just be really shocked by that because Kenya Moore is a very intelligent woman, and knowing everything that's going on right now and all of the eyes and lawsuits that are on Bravo, I just don't even know in her mind why that would be a move that you would think, let's go with this.
Well, obviously something would have led up to that move to begin with that we have not been privy to because we have not seen the storylines. But I will say Kenya, she's also a legend, but she has always walked that fine line. She's always like right teetering on crossing the line. And I do believe sometimes if you're trying to create a good season or a storyline, I could see a world in which Kenya, in maybe not her brightest thought ever, would have overstepped that line, would have not really thought it through. And I think, unfortunately, this year, or fortunately this year, among any other year in Bravo's history, they've got to really take action and potentially make examples of certain people that cross that line, because there is so many lawsuits and they have gotten so litigious, everybody. So my curiosity is, I mean, you've got to have a fine line. Like, revenge porn is a really good line to like draw that hard line. And also a lot of people are saying, well, what about Tom Sandoval? I want to point out that happened off season. That happened off the show. The Tom Rachel Leviss stuff was nothing to do with actually what they filmed. This was on Rocky. Do you think Rachel will change her name again this weekend? Do you think? I mean, how many names are we going to? Anyways, I think at a certain point I could see that Kenya might have made that mistake, because Kenya's whole bit has been to be divisive. Like, she leans into it sometimes more. I think she created a little bit of that divisiveness when she came on, and I feel like she's used it to great effect. But even the greatest people that do it sometimes make mistakes, and I think she might have gone too far this time. And Bravo did what they had to do with putting her on pause or suspending her. I just think if she doesn't come back, there's a real problem with Atlanta this season. They were really banking on this being a rebuilding season. And Brittany Edie, or whoever the lady's name is that she did this to, like, we don't even know her yet, as terms of a housewife. So this could really, really screw up Atlanta for a good while.
I mean, we'll see. Everybody wants to know if she's fired. I've only spoken to one person who's close to the cast, and from what they told me, they don't see right now a place where Kenya will be able to return without having major implications towards the network. Kind of like the same thing. We're seeing it right now, guys, with Ultimate Girls Trip, Caroline Manzo and Brandi Glanville. I mean, it's a different scenario for sure. It is. But we are seeing it, and we have Leah McSweeney out here like trying to sue, countersuing. Then we have Nene Leakes suing, countersuing. Then we have Bethany Frankel, who's leading the Reality Reckoning. We have many other people who are coming forward as a part of the Reality Reckoning, who's teaming up with these Mark Garagos and Brian Friedman, these powerhouse attorneys, in order to go after the network. And then now you have this woman who we haven't even met yet, who could potentially, if they show anything to do with this, could be going after the network.
But then also, on the other hand, Adam, as I worry about, if they do keep Kenya off, will Kenya join the Reality Reckoning with Mark Garagos, Brian Friedman, and Bethany Frankel? Will she then sign up of like, I was treated unfairly? And I think that's the danger with these shows is now, now that legal door has been kicked wide open, everybody feels like they didn't get a fair shake. Every housewife that doesn't get picked back up for another season, every house, like, it's ruining an investment. Like you said, we're not getting a whole season of Ultimate Girls Trip because of Caroline and Brandi.
So you're saying really like Bravo and NBC, they're kind of sitting there and they're looking at plan A and plan B and which one's worse. Like if we can either keep Kenya and potentially deal with the ramifications of what Brittany Edie brings legally, or we know that Kenya has a whole history with the network and we can fire Kenya and not know if she's going to join in on the Reality Reckoning, knowing that there is no longer a place for her with the network. So what else does she have to lose? Which could potentially be a big problem.
Well, I think with any of these housewives, they're looking to get their bag. At the end of the day, they want to get paid. That's the whole, like, they're on TV for low level fame, but they're also on TV to get paid. That's the whole thing. Kenya, like, I would imagine this makes up most of her yearly nut on money she brings in. So you're cutting off her financial freedom in a sense. So I would imagine you would want to fight for that, even if you are in the wrong, because Kenya probably thought, I just could see in a moment of heat, her thinking this would be more funny than how actually that it was disgusting.
Right. And I think that too, she is going to make it make sense why it's not as bad as anybody else is trying to make it.
Yeah.
Because she, like you said, she's going to fight for it.
Well, I feel like this is like, I can't pretend to know what Bravo legal is all about and what they think, but I got to imagine like these situations, like the people that work in Bravo in like clearances, they've got to be having the worst couple years ever. Like they've never had to deal with something this intense. And there's like, you know, we're going back years, sometimes a decade, with people pulling out things from the past. And I think that is the wild thing. It's like whatever contract these ladies or men are signing on Bravo, it doesn't seem to do anything. They still seem to be able to sue all of these things. And I got to imagine at this point, the contracts are pretty like spelled out of what flies and what doesn't. So I'm curious, but in this country, you really can sue over anything anymore.
It's crazy. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up for you guys. I'm going to bring up Ryan's socials. That way Ryan can tell you exactly where you can find him. But before we end up doing that again, just for all of you guys, because we are down to the wire and we put this up last minute, make sure if you guys are in downtown Charleston on King Street, Saturday, July 6th, come hang out with Monica and Daisy, myself, Leva, a few other people that you might recognize. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be lots to do. It's not just like show up to a bar, grab a drink. It's going to be like a whole thing. So if you guys can make it, just like it says in the banner, RSVP to ASST@upandadamlive.com. That way Jason can make sure that you're taken care of. Come play, party, all of the things. Don't try to catch me in a moment where you're like, look at this motherfucker. He's so fucked up on his 31st birthday. Yeah, it's going to be a shit show, but of the best kind. It's going to be a classy shit show. 20s. That's old Adam. That's that crazy bitch. This new one, sophisticated, classy, 31, a different monster. Somebody said, you're not wearing all black to your birthday. I'm like, of course I am. What do you mean? No, I won't. But Ryan, if they don't know, will you let them know exactly where we can find you? And we're going to start with your Insta.
The Instagram, So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. That's also the show name that I do for Betches Media. We also have a YouTube channel as well where you can see some of the interviews that I do or the recaps on YouTube. But the full show is a podcast. We do 5 shows a week. So just like we had so many great guests this week. We had Michelle Collins. We had Kristen Doty a couple of weeks ago. We have a lot of, but then it's a lot of pop culture too. A lot of Justin Timberlake arrest. There's like a cornucopia of things to choose from. So see if you like it. A lot of you guys might know me by now and you might already have tried it and didn't like it. So I totally get that. But if you haven't tried it, try it and see if you like it. I'm also on Jeff Lewis Extended every week on Sirius XM. I'll be on this week on Tuesday, and that's really exciting. But yeah, YouTube and also, and I say this for Adam's podcast as well, consider giving it a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And just thank you. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/So Bad It's Good. And I'll be doing a Q&A episode this weekend over there. Hello, baddies. And anyway, just thanks for inviting me. I don't even need to promote stuff because I just like being here and talking to you guys. So thank you. You guys are always truly a really great audience. And somebody wanted me to do my kin. I can't believe Tom was in the jacuzzi with Raquel. I can't believe that. I can't believe Adam's going to be 31 and he's going to have a party in Charleston. I can't believe that.
Ryan, I wish you well in hell. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Definitely make sure you go follow Ryan on all platforms. Like he said, it's the same name, but definitely if you're checking him out on YouTube, subscribe. It's free. Smash the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost you guys anything, and it helps all of your favorite content creators be able to continue creating the content that we're all sitting here in the live chat loving to listen to. And if we don't love to listen to, we love to fight over it because that's just what we live in today's
Happy
time.
Birthday, Jason. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jason. Guys, wish everybody go over to Jason on Instagram. Let me go ahead and just bring this up because I want you guys really quick. Stop sharing just so you guys don't know who I'm looking up so I don't look like a psychopath. Guys, make sure you go over to Jason. I'm going to share this really quick for you so you can just go wish him in the DMs a happy birthday. This is his Instagram. At Jason BERRENT. Go flood those DMs and let him know that he is definitely loved for his not 31st but 41st.
Oh, how dare you!
I know. I'm being petty Betty. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Somebody wants you to do little Lala. What up, bitch? Have a great weekend, you guys. Thanks for being here.